On a sunny Sunday afternoon, August 10th, 1628, the shores of Stockholm were lined with thousands of cheering spectators. They had gathered to witness the birth of a legend, the Vasa, a warship so massive and so heavily armed that it was expected to turn the tide of the 30 Years' War and establish Sweden as the undisputed master of the Baltic. The king's ambition. The story begins with King Gustavus Adolphus, a man of immense ego and military vision. He didn't just want a ship, he wanted a floating fortress. He ordered 2 decks of heavy bronze cannons, an architectural rarity at the time, and insisted the hull be covered in hundreds of ornate, brightly painted sculptures depicting Roman emperors, lions, and biblical heroes. As construction progressed, the master shipbuilder fell ill and died, leaving his less experienced assistants to finish the job. Under pressure from the king, the builders kept adding weight higher and higher up the ship's frame. They ignored a terrifying warning during a stability test where 30 sailors ran from side to side to rock the boat. The ship nearly tipped over. Fearing the king's wrath, the officers chose to ignore the danger and proceed with the launch. The 20-minute voyage. As the Vasa was towed out of the harbor, its sails caught a light breeze. For a few glorious minutes, it was the most beautiful sight in the world. But as it cleared the shelter of the cliffs and a slightly stronger gust hit the canvas, the ship's fatal flaw was revealed. Because the ship was too narrow and top-heavy, it tilted sharply to the left. On the lower deck, the gun ports, heavy wooden doors for the cannons, had been left open for a ceremonial salute. As the ship leaned, the cold Baltic water began to pour into the lower gun deck. Within minutes, the mightiest ship in the world vanished beneath the waves, just 1,300 meters from where it started. A time capsule in the mud. For over 3 centuries, the Vasa sat in the dark, icy mud of the harbor floor. While most wooden shipwrecks are destroyed by shipworms, the brackish, low-salt water of the Baltic Sea acted as a perfect preservative. In 1956, an amateur archaeologist named Anders Fransson finally located the wreck. In 1961, the world watched in awe as the massive oak hull broke the surface for the first time in 333 years. It wasn't a skeleton, it was a ghost ship, almost perfectly intact. The legacy. Today, the Vasa stands in its own custom-built museum in Stockholm. It serves as a hauntingly beautiful reminder of the dangers of feature creep, when a project becomes so weighed down by grand demands that it loses its ability to function. Walking through the museum today, you can see the very cannons that caused the disaster, the leather shoes of the sailors who perished, and the stern, wooden faces of the sculptures that were meant to strike fear into the king's enemies, but instead spent centuries staring into the dark silt of the sea floor.